Does this ever happen to you? You've got your super awesome game, it's ready to go, and you're ready to export it to just about every platform you can. But wait, Unity's built-in method involves you going to build settings and changing your target through here, which takes a long time. You have to wait for scripts to recompile. For larger projects, this can be a problem. The other problem is that it then requires human interaction to either click build and run, or to go up here and click build settings, and then build player here. This takes human interaction, and this is a problem. And if you're building for all these platforms in this list, yeah, that's annoying. And sure, you could roll your own, but edit the roll your own part out. There are solutions that already exist on the market for this in Unity, but I think that I've got a fairly elegant solution to this. And I don't really have a name for it, so for now I'm calling it Advanced Builds. Well, Advanced Unity Builds, rather. So essentially what this does is it looks at the build targets that you're allowed to build for, and you can see if I show unsupported targets, you can see that it looks at all the built-in Unity build targets, and you can see stuff like Xbox One and WebGL, tvOS. Those are disabled and unsupported because I don't have those build targets installed. So it filters it down to the build targets that you can build for. So in my case, Windows, OS X, Linux, iOS, and Android. And then from there, you can take it a step further. You can specify build options per platform. You can change the output name of the exe. That's cool and all. You can uncheck whether you want to enable the output of this build. So you can just have it build for OS X, Linux, iOS, and Android, and you know that you can still build for Windows. You just have it disabled. The other problem with Unity's built-in build system that I aim to solve with this small tool is you have to manually create folders yourself, and you have to manually sort the builds out into folders after that. This is kind of taken care of for you. As you can see, builds from this session will be saved to a build folder and then the version. And this is inside of the project too. And the git ignore for Unity is by default set up to ignore any kind of build folder. So this is already a git ignored folder, and this 0.01 comes from the version that you set here in version. And the default binary names also come from the product names. This is all stuff that you've probably already changed and tweaked to your liking in your project. There's no resetting up or anything like that. Another thing that I ran into is that for my game specifically, I want to export a changelog, a manual, and if it's the Mac build, I want to export some troubleshooting steps so that you can get the game launched. So this is where I came in and integrated post requirements. So as the little caption here states, post requirements are files that get copied to the output folder. So in this directory, a separate directory is made for each of your builds. So you've got a directory for Mac, a directory for Linux, a directory for Windows, and anything in the post requirements, if it's enabled for that target, it'll get copied to that build output folder alongside the exe or whatever. So just to show you how this works, as you can see, when I add a new post rec, what happens is it's got checkmark controls down here for your various platforms. So let's say that I only want this post requirement to get copied for Mac. I'd uncheck all of this, I'd select the file, and then, as you can see, it's added the README, and it's only checked off for Mac. So then, when I go to build through this for Mac, this readme.md will get copied into the same directory as the built executable. Now, as you saw there, there's still some small bugs to be ironed out in this, but overall, it does work pretty well. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click this button, and within a matter of about, this is a small project, so it only takes about 5 minutes for this project, but within a matter of 5 minutes, we'll have builds for each platform here. So I'll go ahead and click this. Now, this is threaded, so this progress is going to update when it can. When it gets a chance to on the main thread between Unity builds, it's going to update and let you know. But I do have another thread running in the background, keeping an eye on this, monitoring progress, reporting it back to the UI, and these repaint events are just executed when they can be executed. Alright, so the build's complete. You can read the log file here, which I still have yet to clean up. And as you can see, it's gone through all of our targets and it's output them to folders for us. So then our threaded action is completed. So now if you look in the build folder in your project, you'll see if you click on the version in here, you've got subfolders created for all the different architectures that you've built for. You've got Mac, Windows, iOS, Android, and Linux all in here. So, and if you drill into these folders, you'll find your binary right here ready to go. Same thing with Windows here. Linux the same way, etc. So, as you can see here, I've also got this build settings object here. So, what's cool about this is that it uses scriptable objects to store its build settings in here. So, if you click on this, you can modify this exactly the same way you would inside this advanced build window here. You can enable and disable targets as you need to. You can turn on certain options, etc. You can add your post requirements through here. Got a lot of options here. So I don't know if I'm going to release this to the public. If enough people request for me to release this to the public, I will. But until then, this is going to kind of remain an internal tool to me as I continue to tweak and modify it and improve it. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this little showcase of my new Unity editor tool here, I really like building little Unity editor tools. Be sure to leave a like, and if you'd like to kind of get the gist or the how-to of this, please also let me know in the comments below.